Daniel Castloo, mechanic for Rockstar Energy, Husqvarna Factory Racing, and my rider is Dean Wilson. So starting off at the front of the motorcycle, we have the same 52mm WP factory forks that we've used in the previous years. Obviously, with the new motorcycle, the new chassis, it required us to do some spec changes to the suspension. The characteristics of the frame are different, and the bike handle is completely different. But again, with the 52mm forks, we have Nick and clamps standard offset. Dean runs a pretty neutral setup, similar to stock. Pro taper bars. Funny enough, he runs Jason Anderson's bars. So runs Anderson Bend, which is kind of a joke between us because maybe Jason developed a better bar than Dean or something like that. Also, we have the bar mounts that go as well with the handlebars. 38mm bar mounts, so they're a little bit higher than maybe the standard guy would use, but Dean's a bigger guy. So, on top of that, we have the factory Brembo clutch and brake setup, which to me are some of the best things on the motorcycle. With those, we also have carbon fiber guards. This summer, a couple guys had some issues with rock dings and stuff like that, and malfunctioning with the brakes, and so, we don't want to have an issue. That's the whole name of the game with being a mechanic, is you try to do preventative maintenance, and, we obviously have a Brembo front brake, 270 with a Galfer rotor. For him, he likes a little bit touchier brake, but he wants it to be able to be progressive. He wants to trail brake and he wants to drag it. So on top of that, we have Acropovic skid plate, and then Acropovic also helps us out with chain guides and stuff like that. It's a factory part KTM and Husqvarna have access to, which is a great product. We have stock based pegs, to be honest with you. Dean went back and forth between a lot of foot pegs this year. They're not necessarily that the foot pegs that we were using were bad. For him, he wants maybe a little bit better feel on the foot, and with the stock pegs, he feels like he's more planted. So with that, we also have different throttle tube on the bike to make it a little bit better for Dean, more controllable power. For him, he's such a big guy that when he gets on the gas, he'll offset his body weight from chicken winging, is what we like to call it. So we did some testing with that stuff to try to make it to where he doesn't have to drop his arm so far to go as fast as he wants to go to get max power out of the motorcycle. He has a gut seat. It's a wide seat cover. It's actually, a lot of people kind of think that it's actually part of the seat base, but it's not. The foam is a standard foam, stock, same that comes on the motorcycle, but with the seat cover, these little tabs on the side, they're sewn in, and they're foam, same material as basically the seat. Since Dean's a lot taller guy, when he stands up, it's harder for him to squeeze the motorcycle, like let's say in whoops or on the downside of a jump, kind of trying to pivot the bike. So with the bike being a little bit wider like this, when he stands up, his knees actually have something to physically grab onto. As well, we have Rekluse clutch motorcycle, which is really good change for the team this year. Factory service put together a great package for the motor this year. It's a new motor for us, new motor obviously for Husqvarna, and it doesn't happen overnight. So those guys put a value and effort in and got the bike exactly where the guys wanted it. And last week when we shook down everything, the guys were like, look, it's exactly what I want. Having a good motor package and something that's rideable but has enough power is sometimes hard to obtain. So with the guys at Factory Services, they put in a lot of effort, a lot of R&D. They got something that works good for all the guys, so it's awesome. With that as well, comes an FMF exhaust. The guys over at FMF, like I said, with the new motor came a new exhaust. So for those guys that step up like they did, it was really great. And like I said, it's a whole new motorcycle, so it's not like they could just transfer over stuff from last year. They had to go to the drawing board, the dynos, and do everything just like we did. So we have Cell rims with Talon hubs. We build our own wheels in-house, which is cool. And with those, you also have a Pro Taper sprocket that goes with the wheel as well, with a RK chain. For Dean, he runs a pretty neutral gearing, nothing too crazy. He wants it to be rideable power. He doesn't want it to be violent, and some guys, they'll go up in the back sprocket and this, that, and the other to get it to where it hits. Well, Dean, he didn't want that. He wanted it to be rideable. It's a 450. You can jump all the jumps. You just need to be able to do it fast, So if you have a bike that you can ride aggressively, it's a lot better. So, with that, we also have, Dunlop tires. Those guys go above and beyond with testing. Dean's on a different front tire that he was on last year, which for him, I think, is a change for the better. The tire from last year is still available, but with testing with Dunlop and those guys, we're able to make forward progress and find something that he liked better than what he liked last year. So he kind of completes the package with that. Like I said, factory motorcycle, there's a lot that goes into it, but he does a pretty good job of keeping his bike pretty neutral and rideable and usable power. And with that comes a lot of OEM parts. We have a lot of cool stuff on the motorcycle, a lot of factory stuff, but if you went over our bike with a stock bike next to it, you'd find it pretty similar, man. Not too much crazy differences, and good rideable, usable power that comes stock on the motorcycle. So we definitely did a lot of testing and stuff, but you didn't need to reinvent the wheel.